So this is wisdom.
So yeah,
Wisdom.
and so I really should have prepared the board better and done some more with the paints, because I'm really disappointed. But this is Sophia, and this is the male and female figure, and then Lady Gaga was in there, and she looked pretty cool too, so I threw her in. And then this is an image. It's two people, not just one, and actually you figure out whatever you want it to be.
Tilt it down a little bit.
Either,
catching the glare.
oh, okay. Either Christ is helping this guy come through into natural world or whatever, or this guy is helping Christ, who's a little shirtless Jamaican man, come through. And then above them, the angels are attending to the throne of God, and God's throne is usually this mounted throne on a chariot of some kind. And so, obviously, if we're going to talk about a modern Merkava, which is what that is, we're talking about a 1964 Aston Martin DB5. Now, only the very best for God. I'm a true believer, so.
That's a two-seater?
That's four, actually.
Four.
Yeah. It's got a rear seat, not very big.
But then God doesn't have a very big ass, right? So.
Yeah. God could fit in it pretty well. Small car, actually, I found out. It's not much bigger than a Honda Accord in size.
Cool.
So, I mean, that's it. It's pretty simple. If I do it again, I'll do more preparing the surface, because this was pretty rough, and it absorbed a lot of the paint and everything that I put in it. I see Alex there painting over and over and over, and that's what I should have done first.
So you think, well, you could still paint over.
Yeah, and you could varnish. What would varnish help?
Yeah, well, I needed more varnish. I think I needed like 3 or 4 coats of varnish.
So you've got some varnish.
Yeah, it's got varnish underneath.
Oh.
I just put 1 coat of varnish, but I really think it needed 3 or 4 coats to really kind of fill up some of the pores.
So what do you think of the attendants to wisdom? I mean, you speak of them just as figures without having definition.
Well, I'm not that familiar with Russian iconography, so I don't know what they intended.
But for yourself, what would the attendants of wisdom be?
That's a good question.
What did you select these? I mean, what did these mean to you when you selected them?
Well, it's sort of the European idea that anything that's beautiful is true, because beauty is truth, so, or truth is beautiful. So there was intriguing things, but I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know who they were supposed to be, and
So in your experience, when you think you're having a wise thought, do you have any associating deal? I mean, does it require wine, or,
no.
You know, I always think it requires wine, but I never listen to myself talk, so.
Well, that explains a lot, Joe.
We need to record Joe.
Yeah, we need to record Joe, but make him watch it. It's like...
Listen to the bullshit you're saying.
It's in European mysticism, or Western mysticism, and even Eastern Church mysticism, there's the transcendent nature of God, and there's the immanent nature of God. So this is the immanent nature of God, the God that's close to you. You can't really describe God. God's too big. But we can know that God is beyond us. We also know that God is next to us, and maybe closer to us than we are to ourselves. So this is what this.
So like those are the bridge figures from where we are to wisdom.
Yeah. That'd be a good way to put it.
Sometimes they're donors, and sometimes they're supporters, and sometimes they're donors. Sometimes they're human figures that commission the work and want themselves to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are subsidiary resorts.
Yeah. So that's what I did. It was an experiment.
And why is the contemporary figure, why does she represent wisdom? Is there any special way that that kind of cultural expression or that kind of image means wisdom to you rather than foolishness?
Well, I guess it goes back to truth and the relationship between truth and beauty. That's a beautiful figure. I don't just mean that this is a beautiful woman, but I mean the whole photograph of her is beautiful. The clothes, the lighting, the way they kind of did it. If you look at it a little more closely, it's vaguely out of focus. And
so beauty is wisdom.
So, well, I'm not saying beauty is wisdom, but I selected it because it is a beautiful picture. And I had some others I could have put in. There was one that was more dynamic. This woman's just more dynamic pose. And I thought about that, but it would have taken up too much room, so there was that consideration. And plus, there's a kind of stillness to wisdom. You have to be still and really listen, for that sort of quality to come to you. To get in touch with that quality of God, you've really got to listen. And there's a stillness to that. And kind of regal, too. She looks very queenly.
What's interesting that it's so balanced. I mean, she's centered on a central line, and yet her shoulders are off.
Yeah.
And
it follows the line of the dress.
And it follows the line of the people.
Yeah.
And it's two on the other, so she's diagonal.
But you tried to fix that with those blue pieces that come up there, right? You were balancing out her crookedness with those things that are supporting
Well, that was just
the angel.
The original picture. There was kind of a blue thing around her and then blue.
No, but I'm talking about all that blue stuff that you did there on the sides is kind of pushing you back toward the middle again, right? Or for me, it does.
Yeah.
It shores her up even though she's crooked.
And the tilt of her head with the one side in shadow and the other illuminated.
You guys are getting more out of this tonight.
That's always true.
That's the way it is.
That's true of, I guess, any artist, yeah.
Do you have particular words about wisdom, a particular quotation of wisdom that stays in your head, or is it just the idea?
Just the idea. I thought about writing on here, and I got it from Wagner. Here, my son, time turns to space. I like that. And it's a very esoteric thing, but it's also found in physics. It's a physical idea, too.
Yeah. So where would you put it on there?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's one reason why I didn't do it.
You can write it on the back.
Yeah.
Or the side.
Yeah.
And when does that occur in Wagner?
In what?
In Wagner. Here, my son.
Where are you?
Well,
Time turns to space.
time turns to space. I would guess when you're really deep in that sort of esoteric prayer.
Oh, I thought you said it was a quotation.
It is.
From what?
Percival. At the very beginning, I think Percival's going to go do so. I forgot the whole context of the story, but his father tells him that when they're discussing something or other.
Okay.
And people looking back on that are surprised by it. Because in the 19th century, when Wagner wrote that, people didn't have any idea that was true.
The time is a dimension.
The time turns into space.
Yeah.
Or you could look at it the other way. Einstein comes out of that consciousness.
Yeah.